You know when you're like really late for an event, like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. No, 15 minutes not bad. 15 minutes is like the standard. You know, like if you tell people, hey, yo, we got a reservation for 8:30, people be probably trickling in from 8:30 to 9. But if you like an hour late, it's always that awkward, like, damn, like, hey, that's my bad. You guys had to either push plans, you had to push reservations, you had to start eating without me. It's just an awkward feeling. That's how I feel right now. Every single time I take a couple of weeks off, it's like, damn, like I understand. There's the supporters of the show is dependent on quality, consistency. I get it. But man, boy, oh boy, it's been hard to keep up. October is always a busy month with traveling, birthdays, this and that, along with starting a new job, trying to get ramped up with that. Wedding planning. I'm slowly becoming one of those people. That, every other conversation you engage with me in is wedding planning. And, it was easy having the conversation when I was the person not in the planning part of the conversation, the planning party. And I was the person being like, okay, how can I help? Oh, you want me to choreograph this dance? All right, cool. You want me to do this? All right, I got you. But when you're part of the actual 30,000 step sequence to planning one of these things, it's insane. I understand people talk about like, it's so simple. You just got to get 1, 2, 3 in place, and you just got to get a wedding planner and do that, bro. And it might be, and it might just be me talking from my perspective, where I'm still trying to swallow the fact of the reality of spending X amount of money, right? $100,000 plus on a wedding. When, don't get me wrong, would it be worth it? All my past friends, they're still my friends. All my friends' weddings that I've been to in the past, I'm sure that they think it was worth it. But I'm sure they come out of it maybe 5-10 years later, maybe when a kid comes along the line and they think, damn, bro, what if we had that extra 100, 200K to buy this house that we want, to pay for diapers? Maybe you don't have to work for a year. And sometimes you get so caught up in thinking about, like the next 5 years, the next 10 years, and you start anchoring all your decisions, and you get stressed out in today's date. But at the same time, it's not a bad thing, right? Thinking ahead. I get it. Oh, you too anxious. You thinking too far ahead. I know. All that to say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel. We are on episode 49. October's been a busy month. As we know, October 7th. Honestly, I didn't think people would be calling out October 7th like they did. People were acting like that was 9/11. I guess I just didn't get the memo. 9/11 goes by now like it was nothing. You hear maybe 6 people talk about it, maybe 2 stories. It doesn't really get the attention like it used to. And it makes sense, right? With time, things kind of die out a little bit. October 7th, right? A year after the start, right? The first domino, actually not even the first domino, right? The reinvigorating domino to the struggle, the power struggle, the land struggle that we've seen between Israel and Hamas, Palestine. I don't know. After that, what did we have? We had Columbus Day. Did I get that day off? Nope. But I didn't realize, and I might get canceled just for saying that, people do not like Christopher Columbus. Oh my goodness. I remember seeing some murmurs of it maybe a year or 2 ago where it's like, oh, he was doing this and that. He was trafficking women. He was, he took all the land from these indigenous people. And now I think they've renamed the day to Indigenous Peoples Day. What the fuck? I hate this idea of us getting so caught up in looking backwards, when we're tearing down statues of Thomas Jefferson and all these people. And, these things come out where it's like, oh, this person had X amount of slaves. We shouldn't commemorate them in this statue. And in reality, when these statues go up, it's not because, oh my gosh, their work as a slave owner was amazing. Oh, they were doing this and that. They took the land from these people. These people weren't great. I know that. But in school, we don't learn that. In school, the focus was, hey, this person signed the Declaration of Independence. This guy drafted this. This guy found electricity. This guy started the initial domino to westward expansion. Those are the things you learn. I don't know the nerds that are going on not afterlife, post, grade school to then be like, oh, hey, what was Christopher Columbus actually doing in his spare time? What, Thomas Jefferson had a slave? I don't get it. It's like, how do people not have enough problems in their current day life that they get the time and luxury to look into this type of dumb shit? I get it. If the person's still alive, let's dig into them. Let's double click into them and see, hey, should this person still be at the, tier and the level of praise that they're at? And then, okay, we work backwards. We gather some evidence. Next thing you know, you're P. Diddy. That's how it should be. We should focus on the people that are alive. Indigenous Peoples Day, okay, I get it, right? We canceled the name, we changed the name, we changed the Washington Redskins to the Washington Commanders. Great theater. But now you're marching the streets? You got signs for this shit? Now, y'all know how I feel about these protests. Y'all know how I feel about these. And I do think they're worth it sometimes, right? The amount of civil unrest to show that decisions being made at a much higher level are not working with the people. Indigenous Peoples Day. Can we just leave it alone? Like, it doesn't matter. Are we going to give the land back? I understand people are like, oh my gosh, the natives got it so bad. We came over for Thanksgiving and all we did was set a trap and we took everything from them. So what do y'all want to do? So what do y'all want to do? I was born in 1994. I didn't know any of that shit. I'm still trying to get caught up in what happened in the last 5 years, in the last 5 days. Y'all want me to worry about what happened in 1884, 1772? What? Leave me alone. I'm not getting behind some of these causes. I don't care because we can't reverse any of it. We can't go back and give the people the land back. We can't be like, hey, you know what? My bad. That whole Trail of Tears thing, that was my bad. We really shouldn't have made a game called the Oregon Trail based on your misery. Yeah, I know. My bad. But it's a fun game. More important than all of that, October 5th, which is now, I'm recording this on October 20th. The show should release on October 21st. October 5th was my 30th birthday. I went back home to Dallas, and before we get into birthday details, I gotta tell y'all the details about my court case. First week of October, I'm back in court. I told y'all, maybe I didn't tell y'all, this court date got pushed because of the party that was subpoenaed did not show up. The HOA of my property did not show up. And what really sucks about all of this is that I kind of lost. I didn't lose 10K worth. I lost 2K worth. So I had to pay him that money. But what really sucked about it is that when we first went there for trial in September, he had such a shit case. Oh my gosh, I was getting ready to boast, brag, just go crazy, maybe order a bottle of champagne. I didn't even have a job back then. And then the judge was literally like, this was in September, where are your witnesses? Where are other tenants? And in that month, sure enough, strengthened his case. And we get to October. And they damn near got me. Not damn near got me, they got me. What really blew my mind is the amount of lying that just happened in that court. You know, no disrespect to the judge, no disrespect to your honor, but holy shit. I'm pretty sure you have to swear in before some of these things. And the dude was just blatantly lying. At one point, he said the apartment was being used as a party den in which 7 people were living, rotating inside out to just throw parties at this one place. And I think my case could have been stronger, and a lot of the documents that I printed didn't really work out for me. But at the same time, you just never know these angles. And so I do have a higher appreciation for lawyers now. I mean, I already did, right? After watching Suits, I get it. That's all theatrical. But still, when you're in that moment and you got to think of shit on the fly, you got to make up some stuff. You got to understand what questions you're going to ask some witnesses that you did not expect to go up there. It's a lot of thinking on the move. And my case could have been better. But even, maybe I won't say her name just for any incriminating purposes, but my friend's sister, who is a lawyer and who was helping kind of advise me throughout this process, she did initially say, hey, you know what? You will probably owe some type of money, but maybe not this much. Now, put that in hand with this dude was lying, or not lying, but he had a decent case, and then he had 2 witnesses. Another neighbor who wasn't even on video, and then the HOA who kind of, reinforced the idea that these tenants of mine were a problem. I pay the money. I lose a little bit gracefully, I guess. I pay the money. And now I try to say, even the judge said, you should try to push this onto your tenants. You should try to push this onto your tenants because they were the problem. You try to do what you try to do. But in this court case, as far as who owes the money, it's you. So being me, I try to reach out to the tenants. And say, yo, this is what it is. How do y'all want to go about this? And they've ghosted me. Yeah. They are just not replying to me. And this is what I'm getting so annoyed at. Like, I don't need this shit in my life. I don't want to have to worry about suing people. I don't want to have to worry about bugging some 25-year-olds for $1,000 each. But am I going to let $2,000 go? Am I going to let $2,500 go like that? Do I need to call the people that called me to vet them for their apartment application? What do I do? And then I got a whole nother legal case on my hands. Do I really want to go about that? Or is $2,000, something like, you know what? Let's put it under the LLC expenses. I don't know. I'm trying to go through the lease right now. I'm trying to have ChatGPT go through everything and be like, do I have legal grounds to charge these guys to give me money? I don't know. Now to the birthday. October 5th, ladies and gentlemen. Something more important than October 7th and Columbus Day. I was born. That is correct. This past Saturday marked my 30th birthday, and I was lucky enough to spend it at home in, probably won't say the city or address, but I was at home with the family. And additionally, since all my friends, a handful of my close friends are in the Metroplex, they were able to attend. Makes it much more convenient, Now, I didn't know what to do about the whole bottle. What do? You got to have something. You got to have an event. You got to have some focal point. And then you kind of trickle on a couple of other things, right? Maybe you have one party, and then you trickle on a little brunch. You trickle on a little, maybe in a little bar tab. How do you do it? I spent way too much time thinking about this. I spent way too much time focusing on 30th birthday plans. And I should have just made a decision and kept going from there. But every single time I had a conversation with someone, my mind would change. And then I'd go on to this, go on to that, and sure enough, it just led to more stress than it should have. What did I end up doing? Not much. I had a daytime party at the house in which, you have a little mimosa action, and some beer, some tacos. Shout out. Taco Deli. If y'all are trying to cater a brunch, Cater it from Taco Deli. Taco Deli, if you're listening to this, bring the camera in if you can. No, Taco Deli, if you're listening to this, we need sponsors for the show. I get it. You may not exist in California, but you could. More importantly, you could exist on the internet. You could be the first sponsor of the show since the Express sponsorship has died out, but you could be the first sponsor on the show. Taco Deli, oh my goodness. The convenience, the ease, the cleanliness of catering from Taco Deli. You get all that shit wrapped up in individual little foil wrappers, and then the salsas are in their own individual tins. And people grab it. Maybe they need a plate. Maybe they don't. The foil itself is technically the plate if you know how to eat it right. And it's so convenient versus when you're oftentimes catering Indian dishes, right? And you got this big old tray of dal. 5 people have burned their hands trying to bring it into the house. Half of it spilled onto the trunk of the car. It's so complicated. And then you got to put it in a warming dish. Oh, you know what? We got to warm this up. Let's put it in the microwave. Well, this whole tray won't fit in the microwave. So let's put it in bowls and put that in the microwave. And then each 5 minutes, we'll keep on warming up a new bowl of dal. Oh, the naans aren't warm. We got to put those in the oven. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of bullshit. Taco Deli. That's how you go. That's how you got to do it. It made things so much easier. We had Taco Deli cater to, like a little backyard soiree. More of a kickback. People were wearing athleisure. People showed up probably half hungover. The night before, we were able to do a little crossover birthday action. My boy Kunal Patel, supporter of the show, future podcast owner of some sports network that I'm trying to figure out. We went out Friday night, a little hungover Saturday. We start the birthday shenanigans, and it went pretty good. It went very good, honestly. I prepared a little Jeopardy game, a little silly. I made the questions while I was hungover, so that was a little bit tough. I could have been better about that. But I spent too much time stressing about shit that didn't matter. That part concludes. We have a little break, and then we go into the nighttime. Now, this is where I prided myself on the place that I found and the vibe that it gave, because it's exactly what I was looking for. It could have used a little bit of DJ action, but it was pretty solid. We went to a bar called Ginger's. Yeah, I know it might sound like a strip club. We went to a bar called Ginger's in downtown Dallas. I found this place using ChatGPT, and I was looking for kind of a bar like for people that have been to the Here Nor There in Austin, where it's clean, it's casual, not casual, it's a little bit upscale. Maybe it's a nice bar you find in a hotel. Low lights, dim lights, cocktails. People that are making decent cocktails too, right? You're not like just getting a vodka soda. You're getting a vodka soda with hibiscus and some mint. That kind of place. And coordinating it with the owner was not the easiest, right? I'm sure he has a schedule. I got a schedule. But I was a little nervous, where it's like, I need to make sure we have this set in place. I haven't even put a deposit or anything on there. We get there Saturday night. They were absolutely amazing hosts. They gave us a decent size section to have everyone be able to, have a seat, room for their drinks, stand up if they want to. The place wasn't too crowded. It wasn't too loud. You could talk to people. And then you have a bar tab of, let's say, 700. Oh, hey, you know what? We're really having fun. Let's just keep it going. And that concluded that. Sunday, we fly back to Los Angeles, and here we are. Like I said, there's been a bit of a delay in episodes. I just spent 20 minutes kind of recapping that. But it has been decently busy. I told you all about my commute. I'm currently driving from Culver City to Irvine, and it takes about an hour to get to work, about an hour and a half to get back from work. And then you got to hop into wedding planning. Now, I won't spend too much time talking about wedding planning because I don't want this to become my personality. But as part of the Ajay Patel Show, I got to tell y'all about what's happening in my life. And this is a big thing. We're in the part where there's a lot of initial friction. And by friction, I mean You're putting together the infinite, you're finding a possibility in quite literally a world of infinite possibilities. You're finding one scenario you want to go with when honestly the world is your oyster. From literally doing a court marriage and having a small little reception all the way to, I would say, what is your traditional Indian wedding nowadays, where you spend 100, 200, 300 grand. And you have 4 events, 400 people at each event, and you have to put in the work to get that. So you have all these possibilities you can go down, and you want to be a little unique. And then slowly, day to day, you start realizing how not unique you are, where you're like, shit, I don't think I have it in me to cut these 50 people. I think I do actually want everyone at my wedding. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe we should spend this much on this DJ or this catering. And you end up in the same boat as everyone else. It was much easier as the outsider looking in, being like, you know what? My wedding is going to be $30K. I'm going to pay for it myself, and that's what I'm going to do. And if my partner doesn't like it, she's got to get on board. Doesn't work like that. Boy, oh boy, doesn't work like that. You just got to keep it moving. You could try to be as different as you want, but unless you have it in you to fully commit to that idea, the idea of, and it's not a crazy idea, right? I'm sure you can pull off an Indian wedding for $30K, but you have to cut back on something. You probably can't do it in California. You probably can't have 300 people. You can't host them for 4 days. You can't have an outdoor venue and have this and that. You can't do it. I'm not saying it's impossible, right? You can pull it off for $30K, but you're going to be in someone's backyard. You might be in a family house. You might have 150 people. So when finding one scenario that you're going to go with in this quite literally infinite amount of scenarios, that's where you kind of start finding a whole bunch of friction, where you can't really make steps in a kind of decent time manner. And then you start factoring costs. Oh shit, you know what? Like, are we ready to pay this? Okay, well, if our parents are helping us, are they ready to pay this? How much are they willing to pay? I don't want them to be broke afterwards. I don't want them to be pushing back retirement years because of a wedding. How do we go about this? And we're slowly getting to this point where we're finding a venue, finding a certain caterer, finding the hotel we're going to host everyone at. But there's so many numbers in the air. There's so many numbers kind of just get thrown up in the air. Okay, now this audio. Okay, now this hair and makeup. Okay, now this what's another thing I should be able to think, the transportation costs. Should we set up this guest list on this side? Should we have it on Zola? Should we have it on what's another wedding website? Another wedding website. In this initial stage, and I'm fully understanding that this is where there's a lot of it slows down a bit, right? There's a lot of friction. There's a lot of decision making at this top half. Okay, we're going to go with these 5 people for these 10 things. And I'm looking forward to, after making those decisions, you kind of bring it back down. And I'm sure it goes back up as you get closer to the event, the stress comes back, the amount of decisions come back. But where I'm at right now, and Isha's been putting in goddamn full time on this thing. And so it's tough. It's tough to come back home from work after you drive an hour and a half and be like, yeah, I fully care about planning this. It's tough to mentally tell your brain, you need to fully invest in this right now. You need to fully invest in this process, this decision making, this whole picture. And at the same time, on top of that, I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to know what's going on in all manners and aspects. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I like having control of it. I like being the one that makes the decision at times. I'm not a great decision maker, but I like decisions I make more than decisions other people make, you know? And it's tough. And I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I promise you, I'm getting better. You got to let go. My head would literally blow up if I haven't gotten better at letting go. When it comes to certain decisions, you may not be fully in control, but you got to just be like, all right, cool. You want that photographer? Cool. Well, this is the budget we're working with. So who do we get? What do we do? And, you just got to keep moving forward. Oh, my gosh. I fully understand why couples damn near kill each other when it comes to this shit. And that sucks. That sucks that this has become what it's become. Because of the amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of complexity that has been put behind this. And I understand how couples just reach this point where they're just like, yo, I'm fucking tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm trying to also juggle my regular life, my work life, my family life, my friend's life. This person wants me to come to a fucking baby shower. And I'm over here trying to plan a wedding at the same time. You balance all of that. Now you're trying to balance your wedding timeline too. Shit, I got to be in shape in 5 months. Well, when do I work out? When do I work out if I get home at 7 and I got a wedding call till 8? I got to eat. And I guess I don't have to eat. There's only a certain amount of hours in the day. And I'm not trying to complain, right? I tell y'all this. I try to motivate at the same time. Where you just got to figure it out. You just have to figure it out. In a weekend like this, a day like this, I wanted to fully commit to recording this podcast, but I have a whole chunk of today from like, let's say 2 to 6, where I want to just fully look at nothing but scenarios for the wedding. Okay, we'll go with this hotel, with this venue. Okay, and then we'll have this caterer and this videographer. So, all that to say, all my couples, all my friends out there that are listening to this, great job to y'all. I applaud y'all. If you have planned an Indian wedding and you have already completed the shit that I'm in, props to y'all. Because this shit ain't for the birds. The one thing I was thinking is, you know what? Money does actually fix all your problems. When people say money can't buy happiness, those got to be the dumbest people in the world. Those got to be the people that are marching out there trying to cancel Indigenous Peoples Day. You know, they're morons. They're absolute morons. Money will buy you the most happiness you've ever had in your world. Not true happiness, but money gives you ease. And with ease comes a lot of things. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into 2 stories for the week, starting with Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, the character that he's become. And I do attribute a lot of his company's success from him being a public figure. I think we've seen this across a lot of the big companies where if you have a public figure, if you have someone that people can look to and say, that is Apple, that is Tesla, that is Meta. I hate saying Meta. The company does better, right? Like we used to have, who obviously Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, Elon Musk. I'm forgetting the Meta guy. But Elon Musk has always been this controversial character, and I've never really understood it. Now, there's nothing I've seen that I've been like, oh, you should just forgive that, right? I've never seen any trafficking shit, any Diddy shit. This has become an actual word. Holy shit. It's always just people's opinions of stuff. Oh, he ruined X. Oh, sorry, he ruined Twitter. Oh, he did this. Oh, the Teslas are cheap. No, they're not. They're horrible EV cars. Are hurting the environment. I'm not a controversial person by choice. I'm telling y'all. I just don't see why people hate certain things. Elon Musk has been a revolutionary dude, let's say genius, for the last decade or so. Behind Tesla. And now you got all Tesla. It may not have been the first electric car company, but it damn sure is the electric car company now. You drive around California, you'll see probably more Teslas than you see gas cars. I don't know what that actually means for the environment. We drive a Tesla. It's quiet. I like it. It's not the best for long range, but it's a solid car and it can go fast. You don't have to worry about pushing that V4 onto the highway. It's a solid car. And the electric car dominoes were not falling until this dude made them fall. And now if you get any other electric car, they're about to be dependent on the Tesla ecosystem. I've once rented an electric car in Houston, Texas. Boy, it was the worst freaking decision of my life. I was driving around the rain. I plugged into an outlet, a regular plug outlet at a Shell gas station to try to charge that thing. These things cannot survive on their own. I've been thinking about, I've been looking at the Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E. That shit, where am I going to charge that thing? I understand there's chargers around, like the offices, people's apartment complexes. But unless that thing is adaptable with the, Tesla superchargers, I would never touch an EV. It's the worst thing ever. He was the person that kind of, like if you go back 10, 20 years and you watch Back to the Future and you're like, wow, we're going to have that in 2025. Elon Musk is one of those dudes that has made that happen. Honestly, we'll get close to a little hoverboard action. But as far as electric cars, things moving in that direction, he is undeniably one of those revolutionary people. I'm not saying it doesn't come with a handful of critiques. Oftentimes it does. Who in the world has ever made that much revolution or that much progress in a field and hasn't faced some type of backlash? And if you think of someone, they probably haven't made that much progress. You get into electric cars, now you start talking about SpaceX. Probably the most successful shit I have seen in my life. This dude went to space. He didn't go. Sent an aircraft to space to save astronauts. To save astronauts. Do y'all understand that? He just landed a rocket like it was catching a rebound in basketball. In what world? Like, if you're one of those people that work for SpaceX, you gotta be proud. Your company is doing some wild shit. Wild in a good way. Wild in a revolutionary. Oh my gosh, I did not think this was possible in my human lifetime that I could witness this. You're watching a rocket land where we want it to land. We've had guidance systems all our life. Oh, we send that up and then, we'll just throw the shit in the water afterwards. A rocket that's landing in y'all got to see this video. I'm not pulling it up for y'all because I don't have that much time to edit this week. But it's literally, it looked like a ball going through a hoop, a basketball hoop. He's able to do that. And then people focus on him fucking up Twitter. Here's some news for y'all. I don't care about Twitter. Who cares? If you're doing this over here, you might be our one ticket off this planet if we ever come to that. And we're over here worried about Twitter. Now I understand. Has he been probably slacking in some areas? I'm sure. I've been slacking on my podcast area because I've been trying to progress in my career area. They never all, you're never at the max efficiency for each aspect of your life at any point in time. That SpaceX piece is probably his main focus right now. Let's put SpaceX, Tesla, whatever else, and then Twitter at the bottom, or X. The whatever else piece, it's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird. And it just feels like things that he's popping out. Like he has a dream one day. He smokes a little weed and then boom. He has this idea. It comes to life because he has that kind of power. People probably worship his ass. And I get it. They had an unveiling of some robo taxi and more importantly, this robo person. If you've ever seen the movie iRobot, that's basically what it is. Where it's this robot that can do your laundry, do the dishes, serve you a drink in your own home. And look, we don't need to. We don't need to. If you're under the age of 18, close your ears for the next bit. This man created a sex robot. All these nasty dudes out there are going to be dropping $30K to get this robot instead of getting a car. I guarantee y'all. Because if you got this robot, you don't really need to leave the house. Robot will do everything for you. All these nasty dudes won't have to target real people. They won't have to target real people. Diddy won't be trafficking regular people anymore. Instead, he'll have robots. And I think that's better for the ecosystem. Once again, shout out Elon Musk, improving the ecosystem. One invention at a time. Shout out Elon Musk. Now, for people that are complaining, oh my gosh, Tesla, when are we going to get a new model of this? When is this going to improve? The dude is literally saving astronauts from outer space. I don't understand why he's been on so many podcasts lately. I don't understand the kind of the PR run that he's been trying to go on and this whole super backing Trump thing. I really don't understand that aspect of it. Like, are you just enjoying the game at this point? Maybe we'll have him on the podcast sometime. Into our next story, ladies and gentlemen, we got. Well, really, I don't know what to go with here. I wanted to talk about the whole Simu. I always say his name wrong. Simu Liu. First of all, I'm a big fan of him. I thought The 10 Rings was Shang-Chi and The 10 Rings was one of my favorite Marvel movies in the last 10 years. 5 years? How long has it been? Let's say 5 years. He was on this version of Canadian Shark Tank, and he shot on these people that had a boba tea. So he basically took the can, observed it, and was like, hey, like there's no call out to the actual heritage of boba tea. Now, I don't want to mess this up and say something incorrect here. Japanese? Let's look this up. We actually have a laptop right in front of us, right? Is boba tea Taiwanese? Taiwan. Yep. See? I'm too good. Taiwanese drink. And a lot of people got behind it. Where it's like, yeah, you should correct these people that are trying to culturally appropriate certain drinks, certain spices, certain practices. Now, as much as I get it, you didn't really have to do that to them. Like boba tea places are well known everywhere. It's a binary thing. Either you like it or you don't like it. There aren't people that kind of like boba tea. You actually like that tapioca shit in your mouth, or you don't. You just don't. And boba tea places have struggled probably for years now. I remember my sister used to go to this boba tea place down the street from my house. She went to college for 1 year. That place shut down. She literally wasn't in town for a year, and that place shut down. And now I understand how there's two white people in the middle of the world that said, hey, you know what? We're going to add an extra B to the name, and then we'll sell this shit by the can. Especially in this health-focused area where, people are looking for beverages that aren't as sugar-heavy, that aren't, oh, my gosh, it's Coca-Cola. Now, remember, we are a big fan of Coca-Cola on this show, and we're looking for our second sponsorship. First Taco Deli, second Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is amazing. But You see what I'm saying? Where people are looking for these healthier alternatives. So why not create boba tea? Now, sure, it might have been a mistake on their part to not have this call out to Taiwanese, heritage. But how many of y'all are doing yoga every day? This is what happens when a certain thing gets popular enough, it loses its touch with that heritage root. Now you can either complain about it or accept that it has grown to this point. It has grown to this point where if you ever want to make that call out, you can. No one's going to deny it, right? No one's going to be like, oh, yoga isn't from Hindu religion Indian heritage. You know damn well it is. Half the people are saying namaste before and afterhand. I'm not a big fan of it. I like yoga, but I don't get sensitive to the matter. I don't get sensitive when I see some white lady teaching the class. Cool. More power to you. That means our shit is working. Our shit is working. Y'all don't really have much to go on. Y'all have Thanksgiving. Y'all made Christmas, and we appreciate y'all for that. Let us decorate the rest of your world for you. And boba tea is one of those things. Do I think he's incorrect in calling them out? I think he didn't expect the amount of attention it was going to get. And I know he's enjoying that shit. The last thing I wanted to talk about was, we'll talk about it another time. But basically, the longshoremen strike that happened at New York, New Jersey, probably a month ago now, really caught my eye because we obviously, groups of people go on strike every month now between teachers and pilots, flight attendants. And it doesn't really make an impact like the people that bring in half the goods and supplies to the United States. So I will leave that to y'all. If you want to see an interesting story, go ahead, look up the longshoremen strike at the port. Very interesting stuff. With that all being said, next week we got episode 50. I will give it to you in time, I promise you. And the week after that, we have another guest for episode 51. We have Anushka Bhatia. With that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I wish y'all a great week. Sorry, one last thing before I go. I'm actually in India next week. I'm going to India for a week, to London after that for work, and Billund, Denmark after that for work. And I plan on taking this new lovely camera. Hopefully y'all see a difference in quality. My family got me a Sony ZV-10. God damn, I got to get better with these names. For my 30th birthday. So if you see an improvement in the quality, please let me know. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. Give it to me as a birthday gift. Just drop a share. I'll see you guys next week. I'll document everything. We'll have some extra videos on the side. And goodbye.